Hey world, it is Sheila. And first of all, I'm so excited. I want to thank you guys for subscribing to my channel and all your likes. And I have hit 100 subscribers. Ooh, ooh. It's funny because I started this channel just to kind of work on expressing myself and being secure in just getting myself out there and not being afraid of the tribe and getting attacked by the tribe because I think ISFPs, it is really hard to put ourselves out there for critique, for any type of backlash. I mean, I am just always terrified of yeah, being attacked. um, I don't know, other ISFPs, do you guys experience that? Just that fear of just putting ourselves out there and not knowing what's going to happen. It's probably that and I being a little lower of, ooh, not being able to predict the future and what's the outcome. And so maybe that's a little bit of that. So today's topic is about reasons and why, for me, it is almost impossible to want to give reasons. And I think the thinking part in being an ISFP is lower. Obviously, our TE is fourth, and we work in the realm of feelings and just being secure in how we feel about things in general. Our values, our likes and don't likes, and what we want to do. It's all kind of just, we go into ourselves all the time, and if something comes up, I'm like, huh. And I go in, I check with myself, is this right? Is this morally what I want to be? Is this what I want to do? Does it line up with who I am at my being? So when the outside world is asking us for the reasons, I'm like, I don't know, because it's just the way I am. It's just the way I feel. It's the way I think. It's the way I am. I don't. So, an example of that is somebody asked me, well, what's your favorite color? And I'm like, oh, it's pink. Why do you like pink? And I had to think about it because my first response is always, well, just because, or I don't know. And so I have to really kind of take the time, like, okay, why do I like pink? And I said, well, I think pink is pretty. And they're like, but why do you think, why? Why do you think pink is pretty? Why do you like it? And I'm like, well, pink is pretty because I like it. And it's just this like circle of, I can't give like a logical argument of why I like it. I'm always coming from a feeling base of why I like something. And I have a hard time putting the words to it. So if somebody says, okay, what hobby do you like? Or what's your favorite hobby or something? And I'm like, well, I like sewing. And they'll say, well, why do you like sewing? And I can kind of give a little more reasons. I think they're reasons, they're my reasons. I'm like, well, I like sewing because I love to be creative. I love to work with my hands. And I love creating something for beauty. So those are kind of reasons why I like sewing. And to me, I think those are good reasons. Are they logically sound? I don't know. Or are they more feeling based sound? I have a hard time parsing out the difference between my FI and my TE. I mean, because they do work together, but my FI is just like this huge part of me, and then my T is like this little baby part. I'm like, I don't know, I just like it because. Don't ask me, don't make me give reasons for why I want to do something, why I did something, why, anything, yeah. And I don't like to argue in general, and I think a lot of ISFPs are Enneagram 9. I think a lot. The other is like a 4. 4s and 9s tend to be the highest. I think 9 being the highest. So we don't like to argue. One, probably because we are not good at logically block banging the reasons in the external world for an argument. I just find myself shutting down. I'm just like, if somebody comes at me hardcore with an argument, and it's something I'm not, very passionate about, or something I really believe, I'm like, I just back off. I'm like, okay, well, and it's all fine and dandy. I don't want to join that argument. I don't want to think about it. I just want to feel. Now, if somebody's coming at me with a belief of mine, like, so say they're arguing about my identity, and this comes up, often on just when you put yourself out there in the MBTI realm, people are always going to have their opinions about your type. And I know 100% I'm ISFP. There's some people out there that still want to argue that. And when it comes up, I want to just fight like tooth and nail. And I want to be seen. I want to be heard. I want them to just know they're wrong, that I'm right. I know me best. I know who I am. I know exactly what makes me tick. I know what makes me feel. I mean, I just get passionate. I'm like, no. And so I think that cat energy being backed up into the corner of someone questioning your identity, I just want to come out claws full blown and bite, because I know they don't know me. I know me. And so I think that's why when our identity is challenged, one of our true beliefs and core values are challenged, that's when we will be like, fight. And you will see that side of the ISP where you're like, whoa, look at you go, like, because we're so passive in general, and easygoing until you stomp on us. Then we become these little rabid kittens. Yeah, a rabid kitten, because we're still sweet. We still come at it like, not full force, mean and evil. It's like just, yeah, like a rabid kitten or a rabid bunny. So yeah, and especially for reasons too, I don't like explaining why I value what I value, why I believe what I believe. I just do. It's really hard to put words to why I have those. It's like it's just there from the beginning of time with your values and your beliefs. Like, there's no like big epiphany or anything like that. It's just like, oh yeah, I've always believed that. That's what I believe. This is what I think. This is how I feel. And there's not a point in my life where I'm like, oh, I became, started believing this, or I can't explain it. I'm going to ramble if I try to get too hardcore into explaining things, trying to TE my way out of my box. Now, where I see like TE working for me that I'm really, really good at is making things work in the external world. I am very good at hands-on making things work. Like, for example, one day I was sitting in my kitchen. I'm going to go on a little story. And I was sitting in my dining room looking into my kitchen. And I'm like, oh, I hate my kitchen. My kitchen is ugly. And I got up, walked into the garage, grabbed my husband's sledgehammer, came back in, and I started smashing the walls, the cabinets, and went to town on remodeling my kitchen. Didn't ask the husband, didn't even process it. I just was like, I want to do this, I'm going to do it, and I did it. I remember my husband coming home from work, and he walked in the house, and there's sheetrock on the ground, and holes in the wall, and cabinets all torn apart, and he goes, oh, I guess we're remodeling the kitchen. And I said, yeah, I guess we are. 6 months later, and $40,000 later, I had my dream kitchen that I had envisioned while I was sitting there and looking at it. And we did everything ourselves. We did all the demo ourselves, all the putting back together, patching the hardwood floors. We had cabinet people come in and install the cabinets, but other than that, hang lighting and recessed lighting, sheetrock. I mean, I'm in there with the drill gun, sheetrocking, taping, mudding. I do all that stuff myself because I'm really handy when it comes to that kind of stuff. And I'm not afraid to do it. It's just like, I will tackle any project, and it's just easy for me to see how it's going to play out in my head. I have a vision, I know the steps to take, and I take them. And I think that's TE, just being able to pick up a screwdriver and start working it without even knowing how to, like, I don't research a whole lot. I mean, if I get stuck on something, I'll go to YouTube and watch a quick video of a few minutes, maybe somebody taping, and I'm like, okay, that looks easy. This is what you do, and mud it. And I'm super good at, like, floating the mud out and sanding it and smoothing. I'm just super handy. Very, very, very handy. Handy with power tools, handy at any of that stuff. Remodeling furniture, redoing stuff. It just comes naturally. And I think you have to have TE pretty up there to be able to just feel confident in it and enjoy that kind of stuff. If something breaks down in my house, I'm not afraid to tackle it. A lot of times my husband will do it because he enjoys it also. Or I don't know if he enjoys it so much as he's good at figuring stuff out also. And so yeah, we tackle all kinds of projects. We've remodeled quite a few homes, from tearing down to the studs and redoing it ourselves. We're kind of like the Chip and Joanna Gaines, and but I can be Chip as well. I have an eye for design as well, and I can be the Joanna Gaines, but I like getting in there and demoing and getting physical. It's like swiping a sledgehammer against a sheetrock wall is exhilarating, and I'm like, oh, I just love it. I love watching it smash and the powder just poof, and I'm getting a little all worked up. All right, so that's just a little bit about reasons, and maybe I'm explaining TE, maybe I'm not. I don't know. It's not something I'm very versed in. I could talk about my FI all day long, but TE, it's just a little baby. All right, well, thank you. Oh, and I'm going to leave you with a little tidbit today. Don't be a salty heifer. Right here, let me do that better. Don't be a salty heifer. It's not the best, but I saw this shirt, and I'm like, oh, I have to have it. And nothing worse than being out in public and dealing with salty heifers. So don't be a salty heifer today. Bye.